What is up, party people? You know I always start this show off by showing love to those companies who help make this podcast possible. First is my friends over at COMPANYCAM. I'm excited to help my friends at COMPANYCAM promote an event they're hosting in May called Blueprint. Blueprint is a one-day event designed to help service professionals and contractors like you draft your plan for growth. The event is not exclusive to COMPANYCAM users. So if you're a contractor or a service pro looking to network, level up your leadership, and learn more about industry trends, you won't want to miss it. Taking place in Dallas, Denver, and Chicago, each city will hear from keynote speaker Sean Van Dyke, who will talk about how to design your customer experience to automatically create raving fans using simple technology. You will also hear other industry leaders discuss 3 topics that can make or break any business: tech, team, and traction. Don't miss out. Register today at COMPANYCAM.com/blueprint if you want to try COMPANYCAM out. So COMPANYCAM.com/blueprint to register for the event. If you would like to try COMPANYCAM, it is going to be COMPANYCAM.com/HVAC Uncensored. They will give you a free 14-day trial, and then they will give you 50% off of your first 2 months. Alrighty. Guys, my friends over at FIELDPULSE, I feel bad because a couple of times I said field piece by accident, so I apologize to my friends over at FIELDPULSE. It's my brain. But guys, FIELDPULSE rated as the #1 HVAC FSM, Field Service Manager, and #1 for both ease of use and customer service. FIELDPULSE is the solution you need to accelerate your business. Still operating off pen and paper? FIELDPULSE keeps track of your customers, estimate and invoices, and work orders digitally, helping you gain visibility in every aspect of your business. The FIELDPULSE scheduling feature helps keep track of your techs, their jobs, and their current location while out in the field. FIELDPULSE has a maintenance agreement, the good, better, and best proposal tool included in the platform. If you do commercial work, there is a project management feature to help you with the long-term work. On average, businesses grow 60% with their first year after sign up with FIELDPULSE. Start your 7-day free trial. Take your business to the next level with FIELDPULSE today. Guys, I also finally worked out something with them. We'll share a link here as soon as possible, but they are giving people 20% off for the first year. So that's pretty amazing. That's the best offer that any company I've ever worked with has given. So I'm pretty sure it's 20% off for the entire year. I will share that link as soon as I can. All right, last but not least, sorry guys, got to pay these bills. It's Bluon. Check out my friends over at Bluon. You guys, they need no introduction. You know who they are. They are literally providing everything you possibly imagine for techs. Now that they've teamed up with Sarah, they're offering the full circle. And guys, they're amazing people, and they legitimately want to help technicians, whether it's finding parts, getting you what you need to do the job you got to do, the technical support. Whatever it may be, Bluon is literally trying to upgrade the industry. If you do not have the Bluon app downloaded, please go do so. All right? Some of that free stuff's going to go away soon. I told you guys, you missed it out for the longest time. All of these resources were free. And they got to pay all those amazing, smart tech support guys they have. So now some of these features aren't going to be paid, but you're going to have to use the features of the app in order to get it for free. So go download the Bluon app as soon as you possibly can. All right? On to the show. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Five, four, three, two, one, go. Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil Cavey Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. I am your host, Gil KV Jr., here on another fucking hump day, a Wednesday night. Guys, great show for you tonight. I've been looking forward to this one. Before we get into that, real fast, hello, I see some new people in the chat, which is absolutely amazing. Want to try to give a shout out real fast. Mr. Efron Martinez, on parole. Mr. I know him from Instagram, and I still have that cup to send you, man. I'm a little bad at mailing things, but I got you. Obviously, Mr. Reliable. We might see him soon. I'm not sure. Mr. Kraus, what is up, brother? Rookie, what's up, bro? Everything HVACR. Let's see who we got in here. Mr. HVAC Blogger, what is up, my man? Mr. Donald Baker, sorry, a.k.a. the Donald, a.k.a. the Don of HVAC. Awesome fucking name. Mr. Williams here, another new name. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Calix, another new one. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Out of Temecula, California. Mr. Jimmy, HVAC teacher. What is up, my brother? Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Mr. Sam Andrew, hello, hello. Miss Jennifer Manzo is in here. How are you, ma'am? I think I got everybody. All right, guys, you guys have seen the show cover. Without further ado, this guy doesn't need any introduction, man. He is absolutely killing it on social media. He's another one of these guys out there that is just doing things right, showing people the right way to do things. You have to appreciate. I finally got to meet him in person, even though it was a short time. Very, very awesome guy. Very, very happy and privileged to be able to start to build a relationship with him. All of his content is amazing. I know all of you already watch him. If you don't, I don't know what the hell you've been doing. He's literally on every single platform that's out there. He now also has a podcast that is fucking amazing, which we will get into that tonight as well. So, guys, without further ado, let us bring on Mr. Adrian, Reliable HVACR. What's up, buddy?
What's up? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. It's awesome. I'm so glad that I finally got to meet you in person, man. I wish that I could have hung out with you a little bit longer. I know you were leaving that night, but I'm glad I did get to meet you in person because, you know, you talk to people online so much, but it's awesome to be able to meet them in person. So it's cool that me and you met in person before we did this.
Like I had some guys that I really wanted to meet at the AHR event. So like when I went out there, that's kind of what I, made sure that I got to meet a list of guys. And you're one of those guys that I wanted to make sure I got to run into. And I actually wasn't going to run into you. I think I had to go back inside because then Rick was like, oh, he's over here at the Sporlin. So I went back over there, got to meet you, got to meet Brett, a bunch of other guys that were there hanging out at the booth.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad you did that. I'm glad we definitely got to meet. I don't know if you heard me last week, but thank you for your stickers. They're awesome. And I ordered one of your shirts. It actually just came in. I meant to wear that tonight, but I was in a rush. But I have one of your shirts as well.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Your sticker game is hard. And those patches, man, you got to let me know where you get those patches from because that patch is badass.
Oh, yeah. I'll let you know. Everybody's been asking me. And we got the backpacks. Everybody had, the sponsors had the patches and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I could probably do that. So I looked for them. I found them, gave them out, and they went quick. Yeah, I've had a lot of people like, hey, where do you get those patches from? I don't know. You might see some people trying to make those as well.
Yeah, and the quality was good, man. It was like...
I was nice. Surprised.
I've been stepping up a little bit on the stickers. I have somebody making some new designs now. So this is the same one I've had. I just got the reflective one and then the die cut of this. But I'm trying to get somebody to pretty much remake the logo to make it look a little bit different so that I can use it for stuff and try to step up the merch game too. Because I have merch on the website, but I haven't been able to put a whole bunch of time into it. And people have been buying it, which is cool. But I want to make sure if they buy something, it looks good. I got a shirt. It's like the superheated one I got. I think that's what it is.
Oh, you bought that one? Okay, yeah. I have a few designs. And honestly, I made them just to have something to wear in my videos. Because I didn't want to be in the uniform all the time and then like wearing random shirts. So I was like, why don't I just make some HVAC shirts that I can wear? And obviously, I made them available to buy and stuff, and people have been purchasing them, and I appreciate the support. Everybody loves stickers, so I made sure, I'm going to try and have a few designs. I posted on my Instagram a little while ago so that people could help me decide on one of them, because I had a new one designed, and I couldn't pick between like two variations of it. I do have my normal, reliable logo and stuff that I brand everything with, but, I like to make some stickers, some fun designs, just to give out to people, because the sticker game is like, That's what everybody wants. They want to put them on their pack outs, on their van. I have them all over my like laptop and tablets and stuff. So it's always good to have. And that's the whole thing that goes around now is the whole sticker swap. Everybody's making stickers and exchanging them and whatnot.
Yeah, I've gotten stickers. I'm bad at mailing them out, so I have to do that.
Well, that costs money. That's what people don't understand. I was like, I have so many to give out, and then I got to pay for postage and stuff. So I appreciate anybody who goes over to my YouTube and watches my stuff over there because, that pays. And then I have some channel members that help me out with that. So all those little expenses add up, and stickers are not cheap.
No, they're not. And, I'm the same way when you give them out, like even the giveaways that I do, just so people know, like, yes, a lot of like Yellow Jacket and suppliers will send me products for free. But
Yeah.
like how much it costs to ship a fucking vacuum pump or to ship some of these things? Like the podcast pays for that, which I'm not bitching. You guys know, to be honest, I probably have to do another giveaway soon. I haven't done one in a little bit. I always do this as kind of routine. Just looking at the chat, I know everybody in here knows who the hell you are. But I guess if God forbid somebody watches this or listens to the audio and doesn't know who Reliable HVACR is, tell them a little bit about yourself, bud.
Well, my name's Adrian Garcia. I'm here down in South Texas. We're not Austin. We're not San Antonio. We're 6 hours below that. So we're at the very bottom. Just have to clarify that because people get confused. So I'm down here. We run a family business. I run it with my dad. He doesn't do HVAC. I also have to clarify that for anybody that's like, oh, just working for your dad and not picking up the slack. I am a first generation HVAC tech. My dad does kitchen work. So he does like fryers, steamers, anything that cooks. And then he wanted somebody to do refrigeration. So that's what I love doing is the whole refrigeration side. We do a lot of kitchen work. We do AC work. We do all that stuff. It's a small family business down here. I started posting some stuff online. I got messages that it was helping people. So I continue to do it. And like you said, I started a podcast. I started branching out a little bit. So just trying to show like what we do at work as far as like real world case scenarios where it's not like picture perfect installs or the picture that shows like if everything goes right in the world, that's how it looks. I run into a lot of bad stuff, crap here and there. And that's actually what you see out in the field.
Yeah, no, that's true. And if you look at most of the people out there that are doing well, no matter what platform it is, they're just genuine, hardworking people, and they show everything. I think it's awesome for our trade because I always say this. I think that we've raised the bar,
Oh,
like
yeah.
this is what it should be. And most people, if they're not doing the right thing, they're not going to share their work. Granted, they can show the mistakes, but they're not going to share
Yeah.
some shit job,
That's what I got a lot of comments on was like that they liked me showing the mistakes and, the realness of the stuff that I put out. Like you said, people raise the bar and that's all great. Like, the Jeff Jadems of the world, all those guys are killing it. I love watching that stuff, but that's not stuff that I work on. That's not stuff that I see. So I have my own little take on it. I was always worried about posting online, to be honest. And then like, there's people that come at you for different little things that they see in your photo or whatever. But that's what people like. And they're like, yeah, I love that you showed the mistakes. I love that you showed, you did it wrong, or maybe I misdiagnosed something one way. And then I'm like, I catch it and I'm like, oh, let me do it this way. This is actually what was wrong with it. I don't edit any of that out. So whenever people ask me about content creation, as far as like HVAC and stuff, just keep it real. Don't take out the mistakes, leave everything in. And that tends to do better than, trying to act like you're perfect and all that.
Yeah, amen. I think it's awesome because you show you're human, There is no super text, man. And, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. That guy, I've been doing it for 30 years. Okay, man. You did it for 25 wrong, and that's awesome. The fact that you're genuine is why people flock to you and watch your content. I mean, not also the fact that you know what you're doing. So, you know what I mean?
I've been in the field for about 16 years now. So I don't know if some people think I'm younger or how that works, because some people think what I'm doing out there, or that I'm like I said, I work for my dad, so I must be like piggybacking off him and stuff. I've been out here for 16 years. I got my contractor's license right away. That was the first thing that I wanted to get. As soon as I got eligible, I took it. It took me a few tries to get it. I'm not ashamed to say it. And I became a contractor. Now, honestly, I didn't have too many people to help me around here. I'm not talking bad about anybody that's here. There's a lot of great companies, a lot of great techs out here. It's just that I wasn't working with any of them. Some guys, cut corners. They might not understand some of the stuff. I went to school, so I had that background. And sometimes I'd be talking to somebody and they wouldn't understand.
Somebody says you look like Dave Navarro when he was young. Jen Manzo.
You can hear me fine, right?
Yeah, for a second there, it seemed like you cut to a different mic, but it fixed itself.
I don't know what's going on.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, like I said, I've been doing this for 16 years. I got my contractor's license, and there wasn't too many people that I could count on. Sure, I had numbers to some people, and that helped sometimes, but I figured out a lot of this stuff on the go in the field, and you learn from your mistakes. As long as you don't make the same mistake twice, you'll be fine. You'll do good. You'll improve, every day.
That's what I always tell all of our young guys, man. It's what an old guy said to me that was so powerful. One of the old guys from my dad that said, I've made a shit ton more mistakes than you have. In this job, you're always going to make mistakes. It's about making new ones, Make a mistake, learn from it, make a new mistake. That's how you grow. And it's funny you say that because I got my master's license when I was in my mid-20s here because we have licensing here. I got it when I was 26. It took me 3 times to pass that test. I am not a good read and retain guy. And I only took it because my dad pushed me to do it. I thank God that he did, but it sucked. It was hard. It was funny. I passed my driving test on the first try. I must have got lucky and remembered the answers, but any other test, there's no first try for this guy.
Yeah, man, same here. It took me a while to get it, the contractor's license, and the same here. I got it in my mid-20s, and my dad kind of pushed me into it too because he was like, I really need somebody to do refrigeration. Because like I said, he did the kitchen side of it, the hot side. So he needed somebody to do refrigeration so that competitors wouldn't be in the kitchen with him, If he's working on something that is like the fryer or whatever, he didn't want like a refrigeration company coming in to do something else. And then like a lot of the companies here tend to do both. That's competition. So that's kind of how he pushed me into that.
That's cool. That's how I came up. My dad did that. My dad ran the maintenance division for a big buffet restaurant chain here. When I first got into the industry, I did the hot side, the fryers, the ovens, all that kind of stuff. And then it was refrigeration, air conditioning, plumbing, electrical, soda machines. You know what I mean? You did a little bit of everything. And it was cool. I just kind of backed my way into residential, which I think it's because I have a big mouth. That's why, that I did good in residential. But I'm glad that I've gotten to experience all of it. Because I tell people there's no right or wrong side of this. So many avenues that there's no right or wrong one. It's whatever makes you happy. They're needed in all of them. And whichever one you like to do, then by all means, go do that one.
Yeah, and I love commercial. So, my dad doing the restaurant work, he does a lot of big chains. We do hospitals, stuff like that. So I'm pretty happy with that because I do love commercial. I do love working on bigger units. And then I kind of get a mix of both because like I know a lot of residential guys love the interactions that they get with the homeowners and stuff, talking to them, having company, I guess, while they're working or before or after the call. I get a little bit of both being in the kitchen space to where I can go in and I'll talk to the cooks, I'll talk to the managers, and sometimes they'll joke around with you and you'll just talk while you're working and stuff. And then I also have the benefit of like if it's a rooftop unit, I can go on the roof and I'm by myself, it's quiet, I can think, I can kind of like concentrate, not have to worry about being around too many people. So I get a little bit of both, and that's why I like commercial. I don't think I could be residential, having to deal with these people every day and then being in an attic and, stressed. I don't know. That's just not for me.
Yeah, and that's why we have these different sides, man. I like both of them. I used to like the commercial side, being on a roof by myself or maybe with one other guy, and I was in the same place all day. And then the other side of me liked constantly moving around. I felt like I made the day go faster, and I was a people person, building a relationship with customers and stuff like that. As far as the business side, how many people do you guys have working for you? Just you and your dad? Do you have other people?
Yeah, we're super small right now. I think we're down to 4. We're usually like 4 or 5, depending on the helper. So it's my dad and his brother that do the hot side, and his brother does a little refrigeration if I need help. Me and my brother do refrigeration HVAC. He went to school where I went to and everything. So he got into it too. So, we're out there running calls. When it gets slow for me, the kitchen work, that's one thing that I tell people is like, that's always in demand, right? Refrigeration wise, coolers and freezers, a restaurant or anything like that can't afford, product to go bad. On the flip side, they need their cooking equipment going so that they can, serve food and cook and all that. So for us, even if my stuff is slow with the ACs, like the refrigeration stays busy, the kitchen side definitely stays busy. So we're kind of blessed, to have work. Even if you don't do kitchen work, if you do just HVAC or any aspect of this trade, there's always work for you. So it's something that's never going to be like not needed. Even during the pandemic, I know some places were stricter than us down here, but we had a few days off. We had a week off, something like that. Once they figured out, if they were going to keep the restaurants open, or, we did hospitals too. They can't close. So I think we had to have a little piece of paper that said, that we're allowed to be out in the street, because like it was like a lockdown. So as soon as we got the little paper and they told us, it's okay, we went back to work.
Nice. Refrigeration kitchen tech says it's not seasonal. And he's right. And especially like if you're Southern Texas, like Southern, you guys are hot like majority of the year, right? Like you guys don't really have cold spells down there?
No, it's rare. And like the last 2 years, it's been a little bit colder. Like right now, we've had a couple of cold fronts still coming through, which is kind of odd for this time of year. It's usually very hot, but it's like hot 90% of the time.
What's cold to you guys in Southern Texas? Like 70?
Anything under 50. Like I can handle 50, 60. Once it gets under that, I'm like, man, it's kind of freezing outside. So,
oh, yeah. Northeast, we get 50. We're out in fucking tank tops. Like, yeah, boogie boards.
Yeah, it's a little different here, man. That's what I tell people, because like we do have every now and then like a cold winter, which is like 40s. It really doesn't get any colder than that. Except for that one year that we had the freeze and it was like 20 here, but that was the coldest I think it got. Even if you're during like a slow season, as you'd say, you don't get too much HVAC work. We stay busy with maintenance and of course the kitchen side. But as far as ACs, you stay busy with maintenance, trying to sell them on that. But I always tell people like my slow season probably doesn't last as long as like other people's. Like we're not cold for the whole winter. It warms up pretty quick up into the 80s and 90s. And that's pretty common down here. So like we run no cool calls almost all year round.
Yeah. So you guys don't have much of a heating demand as far as like, what is a lot of heat pump? Is there gas?
It's all gas. In the past few years, I've seen almost all of it get converted to electric. Like gas is getting phased out. I've only seen about like for commercial units, 2 or maybe 3 heat pumps. I think I saw my first reversing valve like last year or something like that. Like we don't have a high demand for heat. So that's what I tell people. That's probably my weakness there, is like the whole heating side. I'm familiar with it from when I started, or going to school and stuff that I was trained on. But like, I don't have a lot of experience working on no heat stuff. Down here, if it gets cool, like I said, it's usually like 50, something like that. People just turn off their system and the house it stays at a pretty decent temperature. So they don't really have a need for heating. Not unless it gets below like 40, that's when you see that. But lately, everything's been converted to electric, so we don't have a lot of issues with those.
Nice. Let me ask you this. You say you went to school and your brother went to the same one. You don't have to say the name of school if you don't want to, but how was your experience with going to school? Did you like it? Do you think it could have been better? Because we always have these different conversations about schools.
Yeah, and I've learned that, talking to different people, because I used to advocate for the school more when I started versus now, and I kind of see it a little differently. Yeah, I went to school here at South Texas College. It used to be a community college. It's a full college now, and they have different campuses that are like located in different areas. So the campus, they call it the Technology Center. That's where they have like welding and HVAC and different trades like that. And then they do like nursing and like some other high-tech stuff. So when I went, I didn't know what I was going to do, right? I graduated high school and I was like, I'm not a school person either, right? I don't want to be studying for exams all the time. And I'm like, what do I need? All this extra math. I don't even know what they have, calculus, algebra, all that stuff. And I was like, no, I went to go work elsewhere for a little bit and I took a year off. And then I was going back to school because obviously that's what they tell you, right? So you need to go to college. So I went and I was going to get into electrical engineering. So that's kind of what I was interested in. Growing up, I've always been into tearing apart things, trying to figure out how they work, repairing stuff around the house. I've always been kind of tech savvy. I always have the latest, or I try to have the latest phone, and I was really into laptops. Yeah, for a while, right before I started HVAC, and then it kind of became a side gig for me, was actually repairing iPhones, iPads, laptops, all the electronics. And I made good money doing it because, that stuff, people are breaking their phones all the time. So I've always been into that kind of stuff. So I went for electrical engineering. I got kind of excited to venture out into that. I wanted to build stuff that they were showing there. You go to the college and they give you a tour and all that. They get you kind of excited. My dad at that time was at a company. He worked his way basically all the way up. They had him at management, and he didn't like being in the office all the time. So he decided to open his own company up. I, at first, was just helping him design logos because I'm pretty good at that too, like Photoshop and that kind of stuff. I was designing his logo. I was helping him make business cards, just anything I could do to help him out. I kind of never thought, to work for him. Yeah. So then he needed somebody to do refrigeration work, like walk-in coolers, freezers, for the jobs that he was getting. So I was like, okay. Found out that my college, not the one that I was going to at the time, but another one here, basically you could major in HVAC. So I went down there, signed up. I went through the course. Now, in my experience, I recommend it because it's a good way to get your basics, your foundation. You learn all the technical terms like, superheat, subcool. You know how to put your gauges on, doing all your little calculations and stuff, checking your temperatures, what component does what. I learned all that there, and I had a good experience. Now, I had a lot of good teachers, and a couple of them also owned businesses, so it was cool to see. We got into class. It was cool to hear like them talk about their jobs that they might have had over the weekend or something like that. So we had a lot of conversations, a lot of hands-on. So if you guys are thinking about school, if you go to a trade school, just make sure that you could go and maybe take a tour and make sure that they have, good amount of stuff for you to actually work on. Because I think that's what helped me the most is I got to braze there. I got to take apart split systems. They had a bunch of training boards, and they had a lot of refrigeration stuff. So I thought that was cool. Walk-in coolers and freezers, like they had everything. So for me, it was a good experience. I was pretty stoked about it. It definitely helped me when I got out because, like I said, it's not the same, right? Like when you see it in the book, see it online, everything's picture perfect. Like this is how it should work. You get out there and, some things are hanging on by a thread and they want you to fix it. So then you got to like get creative and figure things out. Some of the wiring kind of scared me when I first got onto the field. I was like, I didn't know, these units could have this many wires and stuff like that. So to me, it was a good experience, and it prepped me for, all the challenges that I had in the field. But you can go to school, grasp your basics, but experience is your best way of learning. And it helps if you have a good mentor to help you along the way.
That's awesome. I'm happy to hear you had a good experience. I'll talk about school real fast, but it's funny you say that because when I came out to work with my dad, normally, you want to replace things and get parts, but doing maintenance and working for the company that owns it, they want to fix things as cheap as possible. So you take the side of ovens off and it looked like a fucking Christmas tree with all the wire nuts jumping out safeties and jumping out this and stuff like that. But when it goes to school, like, I agree. Like, I am for schools. I want schools to be done the right way. I just tell anybody, if you're going to go to school, research that school, how much it costs. If there's any way you can talk to somebody who's went to that school, more than one person, just to know what you're going to get out of it. Then also have realistic expectations. If you want to get into the trade, awesome. Shortage of people, we need good people in the industry. But when you go to tech school, when you get out, you are still an apprentice. You're still a newbie. You have to earn your stripes, and that's just anything in life. I just hate when I go to some of these schools and they tell these kids, and it's not the kids' fault, it's the instructor's fault. They're telling them that they're going to be senior techs when they get out. They should be making $35, $40 an hour in their own van. And then when they don't have that, they're like, well, fuck this. I'm going to go do something else. You know what I mean? It's not their fault. They were just sold a shitty bill of goods, and some of these schools, 18 grand. And then when you see like Jimmy, HVAC teacher, his school is awesome, and they charge like $500 a fucking semester or something. I'm like, holy shit, that's a steal.
Yeah, I've seen that. I just learned about his. And then I know Jen talks about SkillCat too. And there's a lot of good options if you just want to kind of refresh on things or learn something online now. Because if you can't find the answer or can't find the knowledge right now, that's not an excuse. Obviously, there's YouTube and podcasts, which are great for seeing what's like actually out there, because a lot of guys are now vlogging, their work life, and you get to see it, firsthand. But there's things like that people are reaching out. Like that community over there on TikTok has been great, because I just got into that over there, that platform. And they have that whole HVAC army stuff going on. And like you said, HVAC teacher has that course or school that he does. Jen talks about SkillCat. So there's different ways to go about it. Like I said, school is cool for me because I got hands-on. I think that's one of the more important things. If it's just books, you're not going to retain all that stuff. I came out of it, thinking I was pretty good at different things. And then you get out there and it's like, this is not what I saw in the book. This is not what they told me how it would be. So It's just to grasp a concept of it so that, hey, my compressor should be doing this, or my condenser should be doing that. The temperature should be within this range or whatever. And then you go out there and it's doing something a little weird. Then you're like, okay, we have a problem here. So as long as you're learning, whether it's in school, from a good mentor, from an online course, like some of these people that are putting out, great stuff, like I'm all for that. That's great that we're helping the younger generation get into it.
Yeah, no, it is awesome. And some of the best technicians that we have working for us at Beltway now are people who, they were young guys who were just good dudes. They had, good morals. They grew up the right way. They're good guys. We just taught them, and they slowly picked up thing, and we've sent them to little schools. So a lot of times we'll send our guys, I want to say it's the Perfect Tech Academy, the one in Arkansas. We'll send them there, pay for it, let them go take classes. And the guys have came back and loving it. They have different like grades of classes and stuff like that. And then we come back and then we harp on training every week. It's a couple of days a week. Even in the summertime, people are like, oh, well, you're busy. And I'm like, well, the busier we are, the more you should train, If you're going to the Super Bowl, you don't not train the week before because you're in the Super Bowl, you practice just as much. So just because the stakes are higher doesn't mean you do less. Yeah, so schools are definitely good. I just wish that there was more of a standard for school. That's all. I wish that it was more realistic. And I think licensing across the board should be the same. Like, I love how Canada does their licensing, how it's across the board, the Red Seal thing or whatever. When I started doing this podcast, and I always say this, like, repeating myself, when I found out that only 18 of 50 states require licensing, I was blown away.
Yeah, that's something that I learned not too long ago too, because people ask me on my channel and stuff about licensing, and I'm like, look, unfortunately, it's different in every state. I don't know what it is like in your state, but this is how mine does it, and, so on and so forth. But yeah, it'd be better if we had a better standard across, or some sort of, guidelines that are equal, because it gets a little confusing.
Yeah, it definitely does. I have a brother-in-law in Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania, obviously, right above Maryland. There is no licensing there, and he's a hack running around saying he's the Christian company. He's the biggest con artist, but that's a whole other story. I won't go down that rabbit hole. Let me ask you this. What was the first platform that you started making content on, and which one, if you had to pick one, which one do you like the best?
Man, that's a hard one. But so the reason I got online, at first, it was honestly to help the business, right? I was trying to advertise. So I started on Facebook, actually, trying to advertise. And then that kind of spilled over into Instagram. I was trying to figure out, putting our name out there or putting an ad out there, see if it gets any work our way. Honestly, since we do commercial, that's not the way to do it, because I'm not looking for the homeowner. I'm looking for owners of businesses or managers, area managers, supervisors, things like that. So quickly stopped posting, but on Instagram, a lot of people just started following me, like the OG Instagram people, HVAC Diablo, Chris Stevens, Mike Mayberry, Reefer Guy. A lot of guys that, just because I showed a little HVAC work, they were very supportive and made a lot of good friends like that. So I started posting more, still showing our work, but not really doing it as advertisement, just showing our work because I'm proud of what we do. I enjoy what I do every day. And then I started noticing that I'm getting people from all over the country, other countries as well. I had a lot of people from like Germany at first messaging me and liking my stuff. So I'm like, man, this has a really big reach. I was posting for fun, not really into it too much. I think COVID is kind of what made me post on YouTube, right? I didn't have a lot to do. I had a lot of free time. So I was like, I saw Chris Stevens, I saw Tito Vlogs, NorCal Dave, all these great YouTubers. And I was like, I want to try doing that. So I've always been good about photoshopping, video editing. I like doing that kind of stuff for fun. So I was like, why don't I try it? So started posting on YouTube. So I had Instagram and YouTube going on at the same time, and they kind of just started growing. And the best part of those was meeting people from different areas of the world, having cool conversations. Because to be honest, like another thing that I like is that I can talk shop or I can talk HVAC with really smart people online that get what I'm talking about. Because sometimes here locally, I try to do that with some of the old guys or whoever's around, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear about vacuuming, micron gauge. Oh, what, you don't need a recovery machine. Just tons of stuff that at first I was like, I was taught all this in school, so I knew better. And I was like, okay, I can't talk to them about how I do things because they have the bad habits and whatnot. So being able to talk to all these techs online that, are promoting the right way, actually telling you a better way to do things. I learned some stuff online. I didn't know everything coming out of school or whatever. So I learned a lot online too. Yeah, I kept posting and the main motivation behind like why I'm still here is all the messages that I get. So that kind of blew me away is when I started getting messages like, your video helped me with this. I love watching, your content. Even after a long day of work, I look forward to watching your videos afterwards. Some people watch my videos at like their boss puts my videos on at their work right before they go out for their calls. So I was like, whoa, that's crazy. But that kind of motivated me to keep posting and branch out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's why, like, there's so many people doing it now. And I say at the end of every show that, if you want to get better and you really want to learn something, like there is so many resources now, whether it's a book, a YouTuber, a podcast, an online course, interplay learning and stuff like that. Like there's so many resources to make yourself better. And if you think of this as a career and not just a job, you can make really good money in this, no matter what avenue you're in, but you can be really good at it if like I always say, like the good athletes, they don't just go to practice and be done. They do work on their own time. They get some extra reps or whatever it is. And it's the same with this. It's no different. If you put that extra time in, it's only going to make you that much better. And I think it's more common in residential than commercial and industrial because you can't do this. But I feel like guys, they learn just enough to be dangerous and they stop.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. A lot of how I am is based on how my dad works. And it goes back to my grandfather too. Like my grandfather worked, up until the day he passed away. Like he was working for the city. He loved working around the house. He was a mechanic. All my uncles are mechanics. My dad was a mechanic. Well, not a real mechanic, but like he worked on all the cars and he helped his dad with that. And then he became an electrician, and then he taught himself how to do commercial kitchen stuff. And then he trained other guys how to do it too. And he's one of the best. He's won Technician of the Year awards and stuff like that here.
Nice.
And he's worked for a big company here too. And, he has all his certifications that he needs. He kind of set the standard for me. So he always wanted to learn more. And I was around him. I was little, but I was around him when he learned the commercial kitchen side after being an electrician. And he was always reading. He was always looking up stuff. He handed me down some of his books and stuff. So I kept those. I have those in a bookshelf behind me with all my other refrigeration books. I took that with me to when I work. Now, when I started, it happens to everybody. I was a kid. I was like 20 years old. I didn't want to be at work. I couldn't wait to get out. I wanted to be with my friends, you know. I went through all that, but I did want to be the best at my job. After work, I would read up on stuff that I didn't know. Back then, it was a little harder to find stuff like manuals and stuff. So I'd be the one to try and Google all the manuals, try and download any PDFs I found. You know, we went to a lot of training seminars. You know, I would collect all the books. I would always have them in my van. I just collected as much information as I could. And that's something that I always take from my dad is like, if you don't know how to work on something or fix something, you better know how to figure it out and you better use all your resources. So there's no excuse for failing in this trade.
Yeah. And if you do it, it's okay. Like when I interview people, I always tell them, or even the guys that work for us, it's, you know, at Beltway, it's like, don't tell me that you know something that you don't know. How, you know, especially in the beginning, you feel like you need to pump yourself up. You're afraid to say you don't know something. I did it. When I first left my dad, I thought my shit didn't stink, and I was out there fucking shit up, you know? The best thing my dad ever did was say, hey, when you're at work, don't call me. You're never going to learn. That was when I was like, all right, I'm sick of not knowing, and I stuck my nose in the books. I'm like you. I got textbooks. I used to take online courses, all kinds of stuff because I wanted to get better. But the whole point of me saying that was I tell them, I'd rather you tell me, Gil, hey, I'm really good at this. I'm okay at this. I really don't know shit about this. Because then you don't have those unrealistic expectations. Because I used to do it to myself. I said I knew stuff. I'd be on the roof and it's like, shit, I can't call my boss because he thinks I know how to do this. You know what I mean? So it just sets up a shitty situation. Just say you don't know. And then I know, you know, now it's my job to provide them the resources to make them better. So whether it's other friends who like, hey, you know, like my buddy Adrian, Reliable HVACR, has an awesome video on that. Check it out. Like I'll share different people's videos and it's to provide them the resources to make them better. You know, like I know their weak spots and I like learning different things. Like on Instagram, like I fell in love with Instagram, like the platform, I guess being so Facebook heavy. YouTube's always been a good community, but Facebook is kind of hard. And YouTube is just like people are positive. They're legitimately trying to help each other, you know, build each other up. Cause I guess you have to follow somebody. If you don't follow them, then it's a little different. It's not the group part like Facebook is.
The community on Instagram is really good. So like the support, and I ask questions all the time. Like before I even had any like followers, I asked Chris Stevens on some stuff because I had never seen, you know, some of the stuff that I was seeing. And I'm like, is this installed right? Or what do you think on this? And he answered me right away. Like a lot of these people are quick to share the knowledge. And that's what I love about Instagram is everybody's easy to reach. Everybody's sharing like, you know, the way they do things, you know, tips, tricks, things like that. And then that's why I started doing it. And a lot of people say that they've learned a lot from either the way I set up my van or the tools that I buy, the way I run some of my calls, you know. That's why I keep doing it. And same thing with the podcast. You know, if people like it, enjoy it, you know, they like watching or listening to anything I do, then I'm going to keep doing it.
Well, you know how it is, man. And getting those emails is awesome when people are like, hey, I listened to your podcast, I watched your video, and this happened, or that happened, or I just got this. And it's a cool feeling to know that, you know, you're being able to help somebody and you don't realize how much making content helps people. You know, there's a lot of people out there doing stuff, and maybe it's guys that you don't necessarily like or you're not friends with, but they're still providing content for people to learn. And maybe they're learning, don't do what this guy's doing. You know what I mean? You never know, but they're still learning something from it. And that's why I think it's so cool. And to be honest, for the longest time, man, like I remember being one of the guys in the chat on YouTube. I was just part of the community. I was just watching videos, trying to make myself better, learn new things. Never thought about podcasting. That was the farthest thing in my mind. And I always wanted to do a channel, but then like as my career started going and I was going into management and running companies and getting out of the field, I'm like, well, shit, I'm not in the field every day. You know, people don't want to see me in an office, you know, so I don't have anything to film. I'm trying to make some little videos that I think that would help people. But I'm like that we were talking earlier where I say content is king. I'm always like, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I never fucking put it out.
Yeah, well, you never know until you put it out there, because like that's how all my stuff started, right? Like I would watch, like I said, Tito, Chris Stevens, Dave, NorCal Dave, you know, Rick from HVAC Survival, and I love the stuff that they put out. And I was like, well, I might be able to show something a little different, or maybe, you know, the stuff that I see around here is a little bit different. So I was like, you know, F it, just post it, see what happens. You know, what's the worst that could happen? Nobody watches it. Like, and to me, honestly, I don't really care what anybody says. If they have something bad to comment anywhere, I honestly laugh it off. A lot of people try to tell me, you know, don't worry about them. Or a lot of people actually come to my defense on a lot of these posts. And I always tell them, like, don't worry. Like, if anything, I'm laughing at it. Like, I don't really care about that. So we definitely need more content. So I've had guys come to me asking if they should start. And I always say, you know, just post, see what happens. You know, what's the worst that could happen? Just, you know, don't take anything negative seriously, because at the end of the day, you know what you're doing, you know, the quality of work that you have out there, and the pride. As long as you take pride in your work, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Remember, opinions like assholes. Everybody's got one. You know, I always concentrate on the positive and sweep by the negative. It is what it is. Obviously, there was guys before me, but I guess when you look now, I'm one of the older podcasts that have been around. But I always, if people hit me up and help me, like Chris Stevens, I remember when Chris messaged me and said, hey, man, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I'm like, all right, awesome. And Chris is a fucking rock star now, man. 160, 70,000 subscribers. I always want to help because I'm, like you said, some people are like, Gil, why would you help other people do what you're doing? Like, isn't it going to affect you? I'm like, no, there's enough for all of us. And it's just helping our industry, giving people resources. So I will help anybody. And if God forbid somebody does better than me or whatever it is, I don't care. You know what I mean? They're my friends. I want to see them do well. I feel like there was just that negative kind of stuff that was going on for a little bit, but I feel like, thank God, like that cloud is gone. You know, that the community really does. Everybody helps everybody. Look out for each other. If we can help each other, we do. And I think that's awesome. And it's only going to be beneficial to our trade, you know?
And it's gotten better a lot recently. So like I said, I had more negative stuff when I started. And like I said, I laughed it off, you know, whatever. I do like constructive criticism. So like there has been times where I did not know something and somebody in the comments taught me something. And, you know, that's great. It goes both ways. You know, if you learn something from my videos, that's cool. If I learn something from the comments, that helps me be a better tech. So, and as far as like you said, helping others, that goes for both, you know, in the trade and then on the content creator side. So I used to see everybody as a competitor, even when we started, right? And that's not really the way you should be looking at people. It's like, you know, I always tell people that you need to network. So if you can talk shop with other companies, even other trades, that helps a lot too at work. That just gets you more referrals as well. You're like, if you know plumbers, electricians, all that kind of stuff, they can help you and you can help them. So it's the same thing with anybody that does HVAC. I have guys that I give residential calls to because I don't like doing that. And they'll give me commercial calls or kitchen calls because they don't like doing that. So it's better just to network. And then on the whole content creation side, I've kind of made it a point this year to be a little more helpful. So there's been a lot of guys that come to me asking about things that I do. And honestly, I don't think I do anything special, but I'm an open book. So I tell them, you know, how I do things. I've been honored and blessed to be working with some companies, you know, like FIELDPULSE, Vito, Jobber, you know, there's a little list that goes on there. And I honestly don't really care if somebody comes along and tries to, you know, get in with one of these companies. Just like HVAC, there's enough work for everybody. We do need more content on HVAC as well. So there's plenty of room for everybody. And I encourage anybody that has been thinking about it, you know, starting a YouTube, starting a podcast, you know, just to go for it. We have Pat doing a great podcast, Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. We have Ryan, who just started his Misfits. I think that one's a great one too. Like there's a bunch of them coming out. Like after AHR, I think everybody came out of the gate swinging. Like the content has been great, and I look forward to seeing more.
Yeah, I agree, man. I love it. I love seeing all the ones pop up. I don't know everything by any means. I've learned a few things along the way. I learned a lot of what not to do. So that's why I always tell people when they start out, man, hey, if I can help in any way, I'm down to help. If I can help answer questions or whatever it is, because I love seeing it. And that is something that I love about, the tactical awards, is where we all get to meet each other, to be in one place. Like tradesmen walking on a red carpet, like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's amazing. We don't get to do shit like that. And being able to meet each other in person, like, I know some people walk up to me and they're starstruck, like, oh my God, Gil. And I'm like, dude, I'm nobody. But it's cool. But I still get that way. Like the fact that me and Craig Migliaccio, AC Service Tech, are friends now. I'm like, dude, I used to watch this guy. And now, like, he calls me and, asks how my mom's doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy that the podcast has given me the resources to meet awesome people. It's a blessing. It really is.
Yeah. And Craig is so nice. I talked to him there. Like I said, I really wanted to run into you. I got to meet Craig, Chris Stevens, Pat. There's a big list because there's so many people that post now. And like you said, like I was watching these guys a few years ago, like religiously, and, just hanging out in the comments, chatting, live streams and stuff like that, and then getting to meet them. So hats off to Ben for putting that together. I think that's one of the best parts of that.
Yeah.
He had a good amount of awards, but, there's not an award for everybody. But the main thing you want to take away from there is to get to meet all these people, because he puts everybody in one room and you can go and, talk to your favorite podcaster, creator, YouTuber, whoever you've seen or you watch online. Everybody's there and everybody's willing to talk. Like everybody's like, no, like, talk shop, or ask me anything. Or conversations were great at AHR. And like you said, he outdid himself because the whole red carpet, the whole interview thing, that was amazing.
Yeah. And to be honest, I just like seeing people in our industry be celebrated. Like, it's awesome that I won the award. And maybe, I guess everybody does this, but I think there's a lot of other people that should have won before me, and that's not me just being whatever you want to call it. It's just, there's so many people out there doing amazing things. It was awesome to be honored, but I think there's definitely other people that, should have won it over me. That's why I was shocked when they said I was like, what?
It's all good from the award show, right? You get to honor some creators, hand out awards and all that kind of stuff. They get recognition. So, like yourself getting Podcast of the Year, that's awesome. And for the guys that don't win, honestly, like Ben says, just be better. Use that as motivation if you want to win an award, or if you just are pumped to see the award show and everything that went into it, and all the guys that won and all the nominees. They put all their work online and, they showcase it here at the award show. Just use that as motivation to be better. And like I said, I think a lot of guys were pretty amped up after the fact. And I've seen a lot of people pop up or post more, and it's been a great turnout after the event.
Yeah, it is cool. We're almost at an hour, but before that, thank you, Rookie. I appreciate that. Blogger says Adrian is the next for Podcast of the Year. I agree with you, buddy. He's going to win something. I know that. If it's not the content award, the podcast, or something, Adrian's definitely got to win something. That's for damn sure. Now that I get to help, see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff after winning, it's pretty cool. But hey, you guys are the ones that got to vote for it, man. People go online and pick these winners. That's how it works. It's not just, random. So when Ben puts that website up and says, go vote for people. You know what I mean? That's how people get to win. There's just people who count it and make sure it's legit, that it's not like, you're not getting like your cousin and your family to people to vote for you. So that's the stuff they check. But what I want to say real fast is you also invented something, correct?
Which one are you talking about?
Or you just repping it? The one thing, like the that thermostat thing. Did you just buy it, or did you invent that? I thought somebody said that you invented that.
Oh, that's not me. That's the orange one.
Yeah.
That's Robert Kraft. That's just something that I was interested in, and I've talked to him because he went through the whole TradeFox program thing, and I have ideas too. And, you know, people have been telling me to kind of put those on paper and kind of get those going. But I picked his brain a little bit about the whole invention process and what goes into it.
Somebody give us a flash. I'm like, it sits back here in the studio. I'm more than happy to show. Yeah.
So, yeah, that one's his. And I got to talk to him. He sent me a lot of information on how that goes down. There's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes to get that stuff out there. And hopefully sometime soon I can get, you know, some of my ideas through there or, you know, out there somehow.
It's hard, man. Ryan, who owns the company I work for, he's the owner. I'm the GM. I run the company. He's the owner. It's his company. He's very smart with that stuff, man. And he's had some good ideas. And I'm actually surprised that, like, some of them he's either been, like, I guess a little late and it's already in the making. Like, somebody thought of it. He's like, fuck. Or some of them, to be honest, he's went through TradeFox and they've kind of shot him down. And I'm like, damn, like, really?
I did get a rejection email from them, but it's because I was just, like, trying it out. I think they want you to be super prepared with, like, sketches and, like, diagrams and have it all, like, mapped out. So we'll see. There's TradeFox. There's Diversitech also has a program for inventors. There's a few out there. So if anything, I'll try a few of them.
Yeah. I did a podcast, it's been years ago now, with Steve Snyder, who invented the Attic Pro, the Attic thing that ventures it up. And it definitely is cool because sometimes the people in the field are the ones that have the best ideas. You're in the middle of a job and you're like, man, if I had this job would be so much easier. And it's the ones who go home like, how can I make this? So I guess they do want drawings because I thought you didn't have to have all that stuff. Like, if you had the idea and the concept.
I talked to Robert and he said, I don't know if he had a patent or not, but he went through and made sketches and then he had them professionally sketched and he did everything himself. And I think then pitched it. So I don't know if that's why it got, you know, made or accepted or what, but I think the more professional you are about it, the better. But I mean, if you have a great idea, it's not a bad, you know, idea to just submit it and see what happens. Cause a lot of these, especially on the subcoast side, they're like really basic things that people don't think that, you know, that could be like a tool, but it could, like the filter puller. There's one that I just saw to take off the blower wheels. Like there's a lot of stuff that you might not think is worth making into a product, but these are tools that people will buy. Like any idea you have, it's worth getting in there. And like I said, hopefully I can get into that whole process and figure out something with that. And for now, I need to just write them all down. I am working with Vito a little bit. I'm trying to get into the design aspect of that, you know, the tool bags and all that. So I am dipping my toes into different things and getting ideas out there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I meant to ask you that. I didn't know if that was like...
I've made a few things. I have like a magnet that holds my tool bag. I have a few other things in my van, and I just have to get all this stuff like drawn out and submitted.
Say, man, if you're good with the logos and stuff like that, man, hook a brother up, man. I need some new logos and some stickers. Like,
yeah, and if I can't do it, I already have a few people. Like I had just had somebody design another skull logo for me, just because I want, like, you know, stickers. I don't want to give out the same sticker all the time because I get asked for stickers all the time. And I just sent some to Ben. We'll see if he starts giving them out because I gave him some exclusive stickers. If you guys buy any HVAC tactical gear, you might see my sticker pop up in the packages. So trying to get my name out there as much as I can. And stickers is an easy way because everybody loves exchanging or receiving them. Like I said, they put them everywhere. So trying to step up my sticker game.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, I agree. I think I want to step mine up too. Like, I have a couple and stuff like that now, but I want to try to make some different variations on my logo. We'll see what happens. I got to get some more of them out, but I definitely think, like, your stickers are awesome, dude. And like I said, again, those patches are badass. Like, especially the fact, like, even something as small as having the little back on it that you can pull off. Because, you know, if you don't have something like that, I've gotten other patches that come normal. They're all fucked up by the time you go to actually use it, you know?
I was pleasantly impressed with the quality. I wanted to try them out before I gave them out, and I was super happy with them. So I sent out a good 20 to 25. You know, those are floating around. I've had people that want some. So I don't know. I might order some again or have them up for sale or something like that. I'll figure something out.
Yeah, sweet, sweet. Yeah, so like he said, if you go on our websites like mine or his and you see stickers on there for like 5, 6, 7, 10, whatever the price is, it's because those stickers are expensive and then you have to ship them. So just know that people aren't being assholes. That's like when I do shirts and stuff like that, you know, I try to keep them as cheap as possible, but at the same time, I try for it to be like a quality item. So somebody's not getting a
Yeah.
t-shirt they wash once and now it's a fucking schmedium belly shirt. They can't wear it again, you know?
Yeah, because I have the shirts too. Like you said, you got yours today, but I ordered a few and I got the cheap ones from where I got them, and they were horrible. All the lettering came off. They've shrunk in weird spots, and then I started buying, premium ones and trying them out for a while, and then I finally was comfortable enough to put them up for sale. So they're not going to be, super cheap. They're at a decent price where I make a couple of bucks just to kind of cover it, because sometimes the price goes up or down, like with everything. So, but I'm happy with them now, and they're not cheap. Postage, getting all that stuff made, it all costs money. But if you guys do buy anything, I do appreciate it. If you guys watch the YouTube channel or listen to the podcast, that's all appreciated.
Yeah, I get you, man, for sure. And it's awesome knowing that somebody else is out there, rocking a shirt with your logo. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome,
And that's what I want. That's why I do the stickers. Like every so often I'll do them. I give them out for free. I pay for the postage and everything. It might cost me like $100 or whatever, like to get the stickers and the postage and the envelopes and everything. Might cost me $100 or so, but then everybody out there is rocking them. People see them, they're proud to show them off, and that means more to me, than $100. So I can't do it all the time, but I like to do it every now and then. And I just want people out there, putting my stickers on their pack outs, their van, or wearing the shirt. I saw Kraus. I don't know if he's still in here. On his last video, he was wearing my shirt in his HVAC call that he had. So I thought that was really cool. It's appreciated. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He just commented. He's like, check out the latest video for his shirt.
How can you ain't wearing my shirt, Kraus, motherfucker? Psych. Yeah. I'm still trying to get more merch figured out on my website, but you guys know, if you buy something like that and it's not the quality you intended it, but, reach out to me. You know what I mean? I'll send you your fucking money back. So when your shirts, when people buy them, are you actually shipping the order out yourself?
No, and I've been meaning to ask Chris, because I think he does it that way. I don't know how he does it, but I wouldn't be able to. I use what's that one called? Teespring or something like that. Yeah, I had to, try out different products from them, and I ended up just getting, the highest quality one, because that's the only one that I liked, and that's the one that, there's shirts on there, there's hoodies. The hoodies are really good too. A lot of guys were buying hoodies too, so that was kind of cool. And there's stickers on there too, so I try to make everything available on there. Now, when you buy the sticker, they're like way bigger than the ones I give out. So if you're paying like $6, $7, whatever they are, they're like the huge stickers.
Sorry, Kraus. He said, I'll rip that shit, bro. I'll cop some. Can't be janky, though. Dick. I know Chris does do that. So I have a Printify or Printful or whatever it is store that's connected to my website. Actually, my friends Evan and Thad from HVAC Success Secrets Revealed, or I think that's it. They built that for me. Awesome guys, dude. And they have it where it's all set up and it automatically ships out to itself, which is pretty cool. I've gotten to test a few things and all of the quality seems to be okay, because I used to get stuff from the same people that Chris gets his stuff from, and I would place big orders, and I just couldn't ship stuff like that though, man. I don't want to be a t-shirt salesman. And to be honest, like I only offer merchandise because people were asking for it. I know it's probably not very good business-wise. You should want to. So I'll have it for those people, but it just got to be so much, man. Like I had like the scale at my old house and like the whole ship station or whatever it is so I could ship stuff. And I'm like, yeah, this sucks balls. I don't want to do this.
I would probably be really horrible too, because I'm very forgetful. I've had guys that with the stickers, and I'm like, damn, like, I'm sorry. Like I'll send it out as soon as possible. That's why with the stickers, I saw Jeff do it. It's like a website where people just fill out a form. So if anybody has requested stickers, because on my link tree, I do have a sticker request. That way I'm not bombarded with messages, because right now it gets out of hand whenever I post, I have stickers. They're free as long as I have them, but you just fill out the form, and then that helps me keep track of that. So I'm trying to be better about it. But like with the shirt thing, I would probably be so bad at it. Even with the giveaways that I do, sometimes it takes me like a couple weeks to send out the stuff, and I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. Like I've been busy, and to get to the post office and everything.
I'm the same way, dude. You can ask some people in here. I've had giveaways, and it's been a few months before they got stuff, and it's not intentional. It's just, you know, I run a couple of business. I'm a father of 4. It's just life happens, and you fucking forget. It's not intentional. So I get it. I have to ship out all my stickers. A bunch of people ask, but some are like on Facebook message, some are email.
Yeah.
Are on Instagram, and I'm like, fuck.
And then I'm like, oh, I'll get to it later, and then it's like days later, and I'm like looking for the messages again. So I'm trying to, mainstream it there with that site. Hopefully that works out. And if anybody is waiting on stickers, I know I have like 30 to send out again. So we'll see how that goes. Mr. Tunge or Tongue?
Yeah.
If we got hats, I'm trying to figure something out with hats. That's probably something I'd have to make locally. Because we do have a guy that does our uniforms. And if he can do my shirts for a good price, maybe I'll switch to him. But I need to design a cap.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
I have hats on my website, Tunj. To be honest, I've never got them. I haven't ordered one of those yet, but I have hats on there. You can check them out. Ricky has the link. But for some of you guys, like my moderators and people have been with me since the beginning, I am in the middle of trying to place a merch order just for like family and friends. And you guys, I'm going to send it for nothing. You didn't win no leak detector, Young, you fucking liar. Did you really? I want to make sure he's not busting my balls because every giveaway should be out. I don't have anything to give out.
I got a few giveaways coming up. If anybody here follows me, I got a rolling tool bag that somebody wants to give out. I think Vito promised to sponsor a giveaway, so I need to get that.
Okay. Sorry, he said you haven't gave it away yet. I'm just waiting. I was going to say, damn, Young, I was going to say, I caught up. Well, Rookie didn't get his stuff, but that's a different story. And Rookie, I always take care of him, and he'll be good. But I was going to say, I was like, I know everything shipped out, dude. Like I didn't forget anything. Had me fucking second guessing myself. I didn't mean to interrupt you, bro. My bad.
No, I just have some giveaways coming up, and I'm gonna have. I haven't announced it, but Robert Kraft is gonna be on my live stream soon. The one that invented the Jumper King, and he wants to give one away. He was actually trying to offer me one, and I didn't need another one, so we're gonna give one away. Sweet. So I have tons of things to give away. So I randomly do them. So if you guys follow me, just keep on the lookout for those.
Nice. Well, we're all past an hour, man, so I won't keep you too long. So I guess real fast before we start to close it out, let everybody know where they can find you.
I'm trying to be on all platforms, but my main ones are YouTube, Instagram. You just search Reliable HVACR. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Somebody was asking for a website. It's reliablehvacr.net. It's down today because I'm working on it, but it'll be back up by tomorrow. And that's basically going to have any links that you're looking for to the hoodies and shirts, to all my platforms, to discounts that I get, that I can pass on to you guys. So reliablehvacr.net, and you can find everything there.
Sweet.
Check out the podcast. I'm trying to get podcast of the year next year.
Yes. Go check out his podcast. So he said it's every Tuesday night on your YouTube channel.
It's live every Tuesday night at 8:35 Central Time, my time, and it gets uploaded the next day on all podcast platforms.
Sweet. So also do that. So watch the video, and when it comes to podcast, man, it's all about the downloads, okay? Go wherever you get your podcast from, download it, subscribe to it. Your phone will automatically, because that's what really, really helps. So definitely go do that. For me, what I've been doing, man, is, guys, the only one that's not linked, I think, is TikTok. I started doing TikTok. But if you just go to my website, HVACUncensored.com, you can get to everything and all things HVAC Uncensored, as far as video podcast, audio podcast, links to all my sponsors, to the merch store, all the different social media sites, whatever you need, that can be your gateway to get to it. That's really been good as far as having to give out different links and shit like that. So it works. The only thing I've realized is the audio podcast, when it comes out on Monday, it doesn't get on the website until like Wednesday or Thursday for some reason. I'm not sure. I don't think it's my website. I think it's more of my hosting sites kind of deal, but we'll see. Yeah, man, I'm glad I did this show tonight. Like I said, I thought about canceling it. Even I've been looking forward to talking with you guys. It's been a shitty week, man. Some stuff with my mom and her lung cancer. We got really, really bad news, to be honest. I'm just going to keep it at that. And it sucked. It's been hard for me to even think straight. So I didn't know if I was even going to be able to maintain a conversation tonight. But obviously, I've been looking forward to talk with Adrian. He's an awesome dude, awesome guest, doing amazing things. And I didn't want to push this off. And I'm glad that I didn't, because this has been a good time getting my mind other places. So I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you so much. I love what you're doing, bro. Keep fucking killing it. You know, if I can help in any way, I'm more than happy to do that. I might need your help in other avenues. So we'll just give it back and forth.
No problem, man. I appreciate you having me on, and it was a great time.
Yeah, brother. I was going to say, I know your podcast is getting hot, but if you ever need a guest, be more than happy to come on.
You're definitely on the list, and we'll have you on soon.
Yeah, for sure. One thing, man, just a little tip here I can do on the air that helps with the scheduling. You don't even got to do the paid version, is the Calendly thing. Because I used to book people and I would mess shit up and double book people. Now I use the paid version because I have multiple little links. But even the free one, you get at least one, and it can automatically send them a show link, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty neat.
Well, I'm taking notes from you. I already I saw that you did that, so then I started doing that.
Sweet. Yeah. The only thing is mine's sending the wrong link. So I gotta send it out again. That's sweet. And I'm pretty sure that you could send it to, at least if you only have one thing, you can use the free version. You don't even got to pay for it. That's what people don't realize either, is when you do podcast or YouTube or videos or whatever it is, you get monthly subscription to death. Whether it's like something you got to use copyright-free music, you got to have a site to be able to upload your podcast, you got to have editing software. Oh, I got to pay for this and for that. And sometimes I look back and look at these things and I'm like, dude, what the fuck am I paying for? It's crazy. But anyway, I'll end this, man. I'm going to go ahead and end this show. Thank you so much for coming on, brother. I appreciate you. And I can't wait for us to do something again, and also to be able to hang out with you in person again.
For sure, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, buddy. All right, everybody. Thank you guys in the chat, man. I thank you guys for being so involved and talking and bullshitting, man. I really, really appreciate you. So it has been a rough last week, man, doing the stuff with my mom. So we found out that her cancer is stage 4. Looking kind of bleak. I'm going to stay positive, but after already losing a parent, I won't lie, it's been soul crushing. I'm not going to talk about it too much because the shit's going to get to me, but I've had to lay low for a little bit, just been in my feelings and been in my head, a lot. And it sucks. So I always say, man, if you got friends and family, tell them you love them. Tell them how you feel. Don't wait till it's too late. With that being said, man, thank you guys so much for watching this, man. I appreciate you guys. Awesome show. Go check out Adrian's stuff. He's another guy that's just doing awesome shit, man. He's a genuine guy. What you see is what you get. Yeah, I think that's why no matter what he does, whether it's a podcast, a YouTube channel, it's going to be successful because he's a genuine dude. And I think that goes a long way. Because one thing about the trades is that you see through the bullshit. You can only bullshit people for so long. And when you're genuine, people see that, they gravitate towards it, and they follow it. That's one of the biggest compliments that I get, that I hold near and dear, is people tell me that, and it means the world to me. So thank you guys for that. They give me that. Yeah, let me start to close this out, man. I won't keep it too long. Remember, be safe out there. We all have somebody to make it home to. We want to try to make it home the same way we left. It's a crazy world that we live in. Do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl. We were talking about it during this show. There's no reason to not know something. If you want to know, then fucking go find the answer. Podcasts, books, online courses, YouTube videos, whatever it is, you can find what you want to know, all right? So go do it. Better yourself. Don't ever be satisfied. If you want something, then fucking go get it, man. Go get it. Nobody can stop you but you. All right. Make sure you download the podcast, the video, the audio, whatever. If you guys could do that, I'd really appreciate it. Follow me on all the social media sites. If you want to get to all that, the easiest way to find it is to go to www.hvacuncensored.com. The more you guys support me and follow me, is the more I can get this out to other people. We share the community. You guys have really helped me, so I appreciate it so far. All right. Guys, I love you, mofos. I appreciate each and every one of you. Until next week, have a great fucking weekend. Stay safe, and I'll talk at you. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.